All right, so we're going to hop into a video right now about accepting your partner's flaws. And really, this is sort of piggybacking on the theme from yesterday where I said, well, hey, why don't you go on a quest to find the best quality person that you can ever go after? And, when I say that, I don't mean idealize, relationships. And what I don't mean is, have your standards so high that nobody can ever live up to them. But what I was saying yesterday is like, make this a life goal. Go out there and choose the best quality person that you could possibly do or choose. And by the way, to get somebody amazing, you yourself have to become amazing. And that's a hard process. And sort of a call to action yesterday. But so today we're talking about accepting your partner's flaws. And when I think about it, there's certain things you don't want to accept. Okay, so we all get into relationships. So we all have our initial criteria, right? So when we're younger, maybe it's like looks only. And then we get into some relationship based on looks only. And then we learn what we can deal with, what we can't, what the other person can't deal with, and our own insecurities, etc. And then we move to the next relationship. We have a brand new set of criteria that we scan for because we know what we don't want. And so we learn through relationships and dating and all this kind of stuff. And I think ultimately what most people do is they choose their life partner from a smaller pool of people, and they sort of settle in with somebody, and they do their initial scan for the red flags and all this kind of stuff, but they don't necessarily have a clear vision of what they're looking for. And so they end up sort of settling in, and then once they settle in, they end up trying to change the person, or they like into what they actually want, right? Or they end up sort of telling themselves, oh, hey, my love for this person grows more and more every day, and that's what they write in the holiday card or in the anniversary cards and stuff like that. But in terms of actual reality, their day-to-day life doesn't reflect the words that are put in the card. And so that's what most people do. But what I'm pitching is sort of an alternate reality, and that is you go at dating, which is the process of ideally, what I think it is this process of sifting through the general populace to find that one person that you feel like you can spend your life with. And you go through this process, and if you're a man, you're building up an abundance, right? You're going out there and you're drumming up lots of, potential partners, right? And then from that place, you're choosing the best one. And so, most people, they sort of date one at a time, or maybe like, just a couple or whatever. And that's not enough. That's just not enough selection to choose from. When you're talking about spending, decades and decades with somebody and becoming completely different people, which is inevitable, right? You're both going to become different people. When you're talking about growing together, changing together, and sort of having core values to where it's like you can trust this person that no matter who they become, that they're a quality person, that you're going to be there to accept that, right? And so to commit to that in reality, okay, not in fantasy land of till death do us part, no matter what actually happens, not the fantasy land of hey, I'm married to this person, I like the idea of them, but really I want to fucking change them into whatever I want. From this place of actually living day to day with somebody and laughing and having fun and blah, 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 like all these fucking things, like this good thing that happens from day to day. For that to happen, you really have to look. You have to look harder than what most people do. Look harder. You have to face your own shit because it's hard. Like dating is hard. We all know this, right? It's hard to deal with the ghosting. It's hard to deal with the text game where you don't really you don't want to, come on too strong, so you're kind of scared to put it out there, but you still have to put it out there, and the whole process of setting dates, and then people go, they stand you up sometimes. I've been stood up like 2 times. People, they do all kinds of shit, right? It's brutal. Sometimes people, like, you have a great date and then they just fucking drop you and then they're on to the next thing, which is okay. Honestly, it really is okay because, at the end, you don't want to settle in with somebody that didn't want you all the way compared to somebody else anyway. Okay. Because if it didn't last after date 1, it wasn't going to last anyway. So, you look hard, and it's painful. It's painful to look hard because you get the no's, you get the people that make you feel like you're not enough, you get people that might be less than you, but because of their insecurities, they make you feel like you're insecure. You get, all different kind of shit. And it's fucking hard, and really that's what our call as men is, or what our call as men is to go out and harden ourselves, put ourselves in this environment and choose for ourselves what we want. That's what being a man is going into the world and executing your will in the world to get what you want out of life. That is what a man does. And ultimately, presumably, ideally for his family, leading the family along. The woman is following the man's lead, etc. And that's what they want. That's how this whole thing works. Women want the masculinity. They want the direction. And so if you're not doing that, the fucking consequences are horrendous, You have to go out and get what you want, and it's hard. And to get what you really want. So you don't really get what you really want, you're only going to be halfway satisfied. So you never want to settle. You want to go after like the best quality person you could possibly get. And you don't have your fucking eyes in the sky, something that nobody can ever live up to. But if you don't go through like a journey to get that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, you're not going to value it the same, and you're not going to be in touch with the reality to the point where you know what's out there and you know what you want. You have to go through this shit to know what's out there. And when I say going through this shit, what I'm talking about is going on a shit ton of dates. Like I've been on a shit ton of dates over the last year and a half. And so you meet a lot of different people and you realize what's out there. You get experience to the point where you don't feel like once you get in a relationship that there's more left to be done. And you do this, and then from that place you choose. Because I've been in the boat where, you choose from that place of sort of like religious ideals or family expectations or like really naive or like a super place of like super inexperience, what you think is out there, and then you choose, and then it's like it's not what you want, and then you learn, So you got to do it. Okay, so back to accepting someone's flaws. So you go through this, okay, and then when you choose somebody that vibes with you, that has shared values, that maybe sort of in the beginning you can kind of get a sense for what their negatives would be or whatever. But you choose them anyway. You choose them because they line up to what your desires are, and or what you want, basically. That you choose them because they line up to what you want. And so you're going to discover what their flaws are over time, and the more that you've chosen from a place of abundance, the more options that you have. When you choose that super high quality person, they may not have that many flaws that really, that or whatever. Like when I think to my current relationship, like I literally have a really fucking hard time listing off any flaws. Like I can maybe think of like one, and that's like nothing. And the thing is, like even whatever they are, see, they're probably more present in her mind than they are mine, right? So we're all sensitive to our own shortcomings, right? So when I look at her, I don't even see any. But like maybe in her mind, she knows, she could list off what they are or whatever. Okay, whatever they are, in her mind, because she knows, it's like they don't even trigger me, and that's the thing. So it's like, so when you think about somebody else's shortcomings, so when I think back to like my ex-wife, her shortcomings were in direct conflict with some of my deepest core values. And that is a problem. So it's like everybody has flaws, but what are they? And are they ones that trigger you? And so when you choose from this place of abundance, you get to choose somebody that, so deeply aligns to who you are that no matter what their fucking flaws, you can just kind of take it, and probably won't be one of these triggering flaws because you've sort of learned how to screen for that through this dating process, right? And I think it's a beautiful thing when you decide to commit to somebody, right? So you're in a long-term relationship with somebody, and you decide, I guess this is at the point of getting engaged or whatever, but you decide that no matter what is wrong with you, Okay, we all have shit that's wrong with us. Like, no matter what it is, like, I'm not only gonna not try to change you, but I'm gonna accept you for what it is and love you all the way despite it, and just like, it's just gonna be part of the fucking package deal. It's just gonna be on the table, like, or not on the table, it's gonna be like off the table. It's just part of the package deal. And that's just the fucking way it is, right? And a lot of people want to change their partners. They want to, and why is that? It's because they chose the wrong fucking person, because whatever it is that they want to change about them, like, they could have, you know what I mean? Like, that should have been a deal breaker. It should have been a deal breaker, right? And so, long story short, going on the quest is this. It is not buying into somebody's prospective future, okay? It's about going into the world and getting what you can get at this very minute. You're going to get what they actually are at this actual moment, okay? Not their prospective future, like what they could be if you could change them or whatever. It's like you go out and you get exactly what they are right now. And that is, going into the sexual marketplace or whatever. That's going into the dating world and buying what you can get. It's getting, the highest quality product at the lowest price. That's what it is. Okay, so that's the call to action. It's like, develop yourself to where you have the currency to go into that marketplace and actually get this, right? And you're negotiating for the best thing that you can actually get at the moment. And that's what it's about, like, to not try to change somebody. It's about all that. It's like getting what they actually are and then taking that and accepting that. And you do that by building yourself up and also by going out there and dating a fucking lot, and then having the self-respect to hold out, to not get into relationships with people that are like almost enough, but to fucking hold out until you have that one where it's like, yeah, like, this is the right thing. So, 12 minutes later, that's kind of what I was getting at. Hope everybody has an amazing Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you later.